Hello and welcome to your Trig winter session course. This is just a quick navigation video to help you get started. So you should see several tabs over here on the left. The best thing to do would be to start underneath the Welcome tab though. Here is where you have your syllabus. Please read all of your syllabus. You are responsible for all the information in here, and it will answer any questions that you have. If you are not sure about something, please refer back to your syllabus because that is where all your information can be found. And more than likely, before you ask me a question, you could look in the syllabus and find it. I am your instructor, Julie Pitts, formerly Julie Nation. So if when you signed up for the class, you saw Julie Nation and it's now switched to Julie Pitts, it is still the same person. My email, jpitts@math.mstate.edu. That is the best way to get in touch with me, especially since this is an asynchronous class. Asynchronous means that you will be on your own for the class. I will show you how it is set up, but you will basically be doing this on your own. We will not meet at a certain time every day. You will be logging in on your own when it's best for you. For the textbook, you do not need to buy that. You will need to have the code, and I can only go so far with you on showing you how to buy that, but I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Please expect to log in every day and complete some assignments. Winter session is very, very short, so you need to know that you do need to have a set time every day when you're going to log in and complete assignments, or that you're going to do a lot of work over a weekend, something like that. All right, I have a calendar that you need to keep up with. There are going to be some hard due dates, is what I call them, and that is when a group of assignments is due, just so that you don't fall too far behind in the class. You need to make sure that your computer is up to date and that it is able to have Honor Lock on it, that it is able to have My Math Lab, and that you do have a strong internet connection. That is all your responsibility to make sure with your computer. Yes, you are going to have Honor Lock on your computer. That is an MSU requirement. And so I know some of y'all do not like Honor Lock. If it makes you feel any better, I am the only one who will see the video, unless of course you are cheating. And if you are cheating, then I'm going to have to turn you in. But otherwise, I will be the only one who would see anything that is on your video at all. And you will not believe some of the things I have seen in the past, but I do understand your kids may come in the room, your cat may run across your keyboard, things like that. Don't be worried about that. Otherwise, it's usually a bot that is saying, hey, I don't see your face in the window. And so there's usually not somebody just watching the room. It's usually they send me a notification of, hey, I think somebody's in the room with them, and then I can pull it up and say, nah, they just have a poster up, or that's just their kid in the room. So if that makes you feel any better at all, okay, about that it's usually just me. Like I said, unless you're cheating, so don't do that part. Class organization, I'll show you that when we get out of the syllabus. Your grade is in My Math Lab and Canvas. Right now, this is being really, really slow to sync together. Hopefully, it will speed up over winter session when there's not as many people logged in. But if it is still being slow to sync up, then just bear with us, and I will try and sync that as best I can manually, but hopefully it is back to syncing very quickly. My Lab Math is where you will do all of your assignments, your homework, your quizzes, and your test. And that is the reason that you have to buy the code and log in on that. You are expected to do all your own work on your assignments. You will have 12 homework assignments, 7 chapter quizzes, and then the Honor Lock quiz. For winter session, the Honor Lock quiz is going to count for a grade. For your regular quizzes, you'll have 30 minutes to do them, but you will have 2 attempts on each quiz. You may use your notes on the quizzes. Each assignment will be due at 11:59 p.m. on the due date. Keep in mind that the later it gets in the day, the less tech support you will have available to you. And that goes on weekends also. So I know some of y'all may be working over the holidays, but after 5 p.m., ITS at MSU is closed. I am old, so I go to bed kind of early. So if you are waiting until 11 o'clock at night to start these assignments, or especially the test, if you wait till 11 o'clock, I am probably going to be asleep. So I'm not going to see your email until the next day, and then that's going to be too late for me to help you with your test. All right, so just keep that in mind. Also, you can work everything ahead of time. So you may want to try and work that ahead of time, work it on a weekend whenever, you can, so that some of that tech would be available to you. You will have 3 regular tests. Of course, you'll have your quizzes, homework. You can see how much everything is worth. The final is 25% of your grade, and we are on a 10-point scale. Again, as I mentioned, you will have 3 tests. You'll have 60 minutes on the test. Now, you'll have 60 minutes on the test unless you start it at the last minute. Again, everything is due at 11:59 p.m. So if you open that test at 11:30, you're only going to have 29 minutes on that test. All right, you will not get the full 60. So make sure you're starting your test at the latest at 11 o'clock. All right, but please start it way before then so that you have plenty of time. You can use a non-graphing calculator on everything on the test. You can use that calculator, the formula sheet, and blank scratch paper. On the quizzes, you can use your notes and everything else. The only thing you can't use would be your cell phone. Final exam, basically the same thing. The final must be taken by Friday, January 12th. I'll show you how you can get some bonus points. Calculators, I have some really poorly made calculator videos, but if your calculator is in one of those calculator videos, you are good to go. There's some dates that you need to know about. Makeup assignments. Basically, winter session is so short that we just don't have time to do any kind of makeup assignments. Also, since everything can be done at home, there are very, very few times that I have allowed any kind of makeup assignment for anything in winter session. All right, it is up to you to make sure that you have all the technology available on your computer. It is up to you to make sure that HonorLock works. It is up to you to make sure that you have a strong internet connection. Since everything can be done ahead of time, which I'll talk about that again in a few minutes, you can do things ahead of time. So if you wait to the last minute, if you procrastinate, then that's on you. Like I said, it is very, very rare that I ever give an extension in winter session just because there are so few days that we actually meet. I did list the MSU AOP 12.09 that you can look at, but again, very, very, very rare. I can only think of one time, and it was an extreme situation that I allowed an extension in winter session. I do have the right to change the syllabus just because that is my right. And if you want a hard copy, you can let me know, and I'll print it out and mail it to you. This is how to register for my math lab if you purchased the Bulldog Bundle or didn't. If my math lab is not loading for you, these 4 steps right here are what you need to do. And I'm going to tell you right now, steps 1 and 2, 98% of the time will get my math lab working again for you. All right, so if you will clear out the cache cookies and browsing data from the beginning of time and restart your computer, 90% of the time, that will get my math lab working for you again. Try it on a different web browser or try a different computer. It doesn't always work on your phone. That is true for me also. So, try it on an iPad, try it on a desktop, try it on a laptop. I realize you may not have as many options being over winter break. The library, your local library, often has a computer that they will let you use. Now, if you go there to take a test, they often will not let you download HonorLock onto that computer. So before you go to the library to take a test, please check with them to see if they will let you download HonorLock onto that test. But for homework and quizzes, local library will be a great place. Just do not procrastinate. That seems to be, the key word here. All right, I do have a suggested calendar, and it also lists the hard due dates, and then I have another just hard due date thing. So for the suggested calendar, when I taught this as a synchronous class where you did have to log in every day and meet with me, this is what worked best. And so this is what I would suggest for you to follow so that you have a little bit of work to do every day without getting overwhelmed. Now, I do go ahead and I open everything. So when you are able to log into My Lab and Mastering, which will not be until the 11th, but when you are able to log into that, you will see that all assignments all the way through the final exam are open and available. All right, if you would like to follow this schedule, then I suggest that on the first day, you're already watching this video, but you go ahead and you sign up for my math lab, you familiarize yourself with the syllabus and stuff, and you watch the lecture video on sections 1.1 and 1.2. Then tomorrow, you watch the lecture video on sections 1.3 and 1.4, and you do homework 1. Then you watch the lecture video on chapter 2, you do homework 2, all right, etc. And then I usually don't put anything on the weekends, but this first week, since you're first getting started, I do suggest you do a couple of things on the weekends, or else you're going to kind of have a lot to do on Friday. So when it was a synchronous class that everyone met with me, I had that we were reviewed on this Friday, and I had them do all these assignments on Friday. So since it's asynchronous, what I would recommend is you just do homework 4 and quiz 2. On Saturday, homework 5 and quiz 3. And that you watch the review on Sunday, and then you take the test on Monday. Now, Monday is a hard deadline. That means that for everyone, homework 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be due. Quizzes 1, 2, and 3 will be due, and test number 1. So whether you follow the schedule or not, all of those assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on Monday, December 18th. If you would like to try and cram them all in on the 17th, you can do that. I do not recommend that. All right. But if you know that, let's say you have got a really busy weekend on the 15th and 16th, then you may want to get all of your assignments done on the 11th, 12th, and 13th, and you can do that. You can get all of those assignments, including test 1, completed on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. All right, and then you wouldn't have anything to do on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. That is up to you. All right, it's asynchronous. You need to figure out what works best for you based on your work schedule, based on when you have time to do things, based on your kids' schedule, things like that. All right, then once you have completed all of that stuff on the 18th, you do not have another hard deadline until the 29th. All right, again, I have suggested dates of when you complete things. Obviously, Christmas is in here in this winter break. All right, and I am not allowed to schedule anything over winter break. Everything will still be open and available. So for those of you who are not traveling anywhere for Christmas and you are not working over Christmas, I suggest that you do work on these days. All right. For those of you who are traveling over Christmas or are working over Christmas, you're obviously not going to work. You're going to want to spend time with family over these days. So then I would follow the recommended calendar. But otherwise, you could get really far ahead on these days right here. All right, you can complete the entire course if you wanted to by the 23rd, and then you would be done with this course. That is completely up to you. I just wanted to make sure you understand all assignments are open and available, but you do not have to complete them all early. Okay, you can follow the suggested calendar if you would like to. The third hard deadline is going to be on January 9th, and then your final exam must be completed by Friday, January 12th. So again, what is on here is a suggested calendar. Hard due dates are when the tests are. and the final exam